What up, Vol Nation? You are now plugged in with Madison Castle, and joining me this week is Chekov. And this is Knoxville's only underground podcast worth mentioning.
Hi there, how are you doing today?
Chillin'.
So we're Chekov. We are a spoken word band from Knoxville, Tennessee, right here in the heart of Vol Country.
I came across y'all's page on Bandcamp, I do believe, and I was like, this is different because everybody else is either doing rap or country or metal, and to have like actual poetry was really cool. So what inspired this?
Well, for me, my main inspiration is Andrea Gibson. She is also a spoken word artist who started slowly putting her spoken word down across music, like intricate piano intros and stuff like that. And while she still focuses mainly on the spoken word, I thought, well, since poetry has been something that I've been doing since I was very small, and music is something I've always had an interest in, why don't we try to marry the two?
So what has it been like, especially in Knoxville, being a spoken word poetry collective?
We've had amazing support from the local punk scene, surprisingly. It's, I don't mean to name drop, but Duck Butter and Burnt Toast, they really kind of took us under their wing, along with Napalm Cheetah, who's in the psychedelic rock scene. They kind of took us under their wings and started booking shows for us left and right. So we've had amazing support, and we've made amazing friends.
Yeah, I mean, before this, I was in the metal scene, kind of. I was in a metal band. Nothing happened for it when I was in there. So just seeing a different side of the music scene, except what wouldn't fit in, was really nice.
Yeah, like Knoxville, because of Whitechapel, tries so hard to put on this metal front and make it all about metal. And you'd think that a band like us, we'd have a hard time fitting in, but actually, we've just been received with open arms, and people are really excited to see what we've got going on, and that means more to me than anything.
I think it's a really humble feeling when everything starts to click like that. I also think people accept you guys. One, y'all are super talented. I checked out y'all's catalog and loved it. Not to hype y'all up too much, but I also do think it goes back to the fact that y'all are different. It's not something people are getting enough of, and that's kind of cool because it's not an oversaturated market out here. What are some of the big goals for this year and this upcoming year? Because we're halfway through 2019 by now, so.
Well, this year we released our EP called It Always Comes Back to You. That's probably what you heard on Bandcamp. The big goal for this year is to eventually write the full length and maybe go on tour. A small tour across, hitting all the staples like Huntsville, Alabama, Charlotte, Chattanooga, Nashville. What about you? What are some goals for you?
I just want to get weird with it. It Always Comes Back to You is it's just guitar. The only music in it is the guitars, and I want to get weird. I want to add 13 different instruments. I just want to make a wall of sound that just has this beautiful poetry over it with musical cacophony in the background. And just really explore what I can do as a musician.
That's really cool. So it'd be kind of like all these instruments meshed together, and somehow they would find the harmony.
Yeah.
That is so cool. Okay, so if there was anybody or any band that you could tour with, who would it be and why?
Oh, this is very hard for me to answer because I'm so torn between saying Andrea Gibson, who inspired so much of this and did so much for me, and the Mountain Goats, just because they're my absolute favorite band of all time, and I think poetry would pair kind of well with their weird folk niche kind of genre they've got going on as well. For me, it's torn between Andrea Gibson, who I have asked to open up for, and I'm not sure if she's ever going to get back to me. We'll see if she checks those Instagram messages, and the Mountain Goats.
Probably like Law Dispute or Listener. They're just the two bands that they do spoken word in a different way than a lot of other because they do the hardcore spoken word, and that's I want to get a little more hardcore with their future stuff, and it would just be really cool to meet them, play with them. They do fantastic things lyrically and musically.
What poem off this past project really stood out to you most? Like, what had the most emotional impact on you when writing it and performing it?
Again, I hate giving torn between two answers, but there is two answers because Haika is the one where the whole album is about a very bad breakup that I went through, and Haika is the song about the fighting through it and getting really ugly with each other. So that one was hard to write because you don't want to think about the ugly moments. You don't want to go back there. You kind of want to put it behind you. And then also A Year Later, which is me reflecting upon the fact that a year after this breakup, I've still got wounds from it. And, that one is always very hard to perform. While Haika was hard to write, A Year Later is hard to perform because it's one of those things where it's very stripping yourself raw on stage and being like, I am hurting and here's why I am hurting.
That's real. I definitely dig that.
Thank you.
What is one of your favorite hobbies when you're not pursuing the poetry? Because I know sometimes that can become your whole life, just being invested in the project you're working on, but you gotta have an escape outside of that. So what are y'all's?
We play a lot of Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
We play a lot of
play
Magic the
Commander
Gathering.
3 times a week at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes every day.
That's kind of how we get away from all of this, is playing Magic and trying to not be so in our emotions, because the project is a very emotionally driven thing.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
A lot of Magic.
No, that's awesome. So we got some Magic fans in the house. What are your families? Are they very supportive? What's the friend group like? Do you have people that come out to these shows repeatedly?
Yeah, we see a lot of repeat faces. My parents have never been to a show, but they bought the album on Bandcamp for an obscene amount of money.
There you go.
So that was very nice. But I mean, we've made so many friends through performing and playing with the bands that we played with and seeing a lot of the same faces. Like, our shows aren't shows anymore, they're family reunions. It's amazing. Do you have anything you want to add?
My family has also never been to a show, but my grandmother especially is very, very supportive of this. My grandfather was a musician before he died, and that's where I got a lot of the stuff I use from, like gear-wise. So it's just, I think she's just really happy that I'm finally doing something with it that's not screamy music. That's
cool. I think it's important to have a good, solid fan base. And I think it's important when artists acknowledge that, because I feel so many times these bands will get big or these artists will get big and they forget that it's because people constantly come out and they support what you do and what you believe in, and they believe in it just as much as you do, and it's just beautiful. And that's another reason why I like Knoxville, is I think it's big enough to feel like a city, but it's small enough to feel like a small town, and people really want to see you succeed. Random question, what is your favorite food?
Ramen.
Chicken tenders?
Like, when we say chicken tenders, are we talking like McDonald's chicken tenders, or are we talking like dinosaur chicken tenders?
Okay, I do love me some dino chicken nuggies, but I was thinking like Texas Roadhouse tenders, honey mustard, get some of those rolls with
I'm gonna plug it. My fiance works at Texas Roadhouse. I did not pay him to say that. No, but that's cool. I find that food is an important thing to discuss because it kind of lets you see into a person. Mine is definitely authentic Mexican food. I just love it. Smothered in cheese, queso. Oh God, I'm hungry. I know. Merchandise. Are you guys gonna have some cool merchandise?
We have shirts that on the front say Chekov and on the back say sad but pretty in script. So we have those. We have a bunch of pins. We're working on getting some patches made in the near future. But right now we just have the stickers, the pins, and the shirts, I believe.
And we have the CDs. And every CD was hand decorated, like the disc was hand decorated by one of us.
Yeah, we put a message or something on every CD that we sell.
One of the last couple of things I like to ask, social media wise, where can people find you, follow you, all this good stuff, keep up with the shows?
We do most of our promotion for our shows on Facebook. You can find us by searching Chekov, Chekov, space Writes, WRITES, and that should pull up our Facebook. We're also on Instagram as CHEK0V. And we post on there whenever there's a show flyer or something that you can come out and see. And then we're on Bandcamp. That's where you can find all of our music for now until we get on Spotify. We'll be there soon.
Once again, this is Chekov. Go subscribe, buy the album, let them know what you think. Go check out one of their shows. Say hello to them. Also, stay tuned for more Plugged In.